Welcome to The Way I See It, a weekly reflection from the Awareness with Vanessa podcast. This is where I share my perspective on the patterns, choices, and everyday experiences that can help us see ourselves and the world around us a little more clearly. Today, I want to reflect on what happens when we pause long enough to observe ourselves before we react. Over the past 3 episodes of the Exit Steps, we have explored the beliefs, emotional responses, and unconscious patterns that keep us identified with the experience. We have discussed what it means to begin exiting the Level 7 simulation, not by physically disappearing from the world, but by learning to live within it with greater awareness. The way I see it, the exit does not always begin with a dramatic escape. Sometimes it begins with a pause, a moment when you notice the pattern before repeating it. A moment when you feel an emotion without immediately allowing it to control your response. A moment when you recognize that just because a thought entered your mind does not mean you have to believe it. That pause creates space. And inside that space, you have a choice. You can respond the way you always have, or you can become curious about what is happening within you. You can ask, why did this affect me? Is this response connected to what is happening now? Or is it coming from an earlier experience? Am I reacting from fear, habit, or awareness? And what would happen if I chose not to respond immediately? Observation does not mean ignoring your emotions. It does not mean pretending that something did not hurt or that a situation does not matter. It simply means giving yourself enough distance to understand what you are experiencing before the experience decides what you will do next. Because once you can observe a pattern, you are no longer completely trapped inside it. Once you can notice a reaction, you have an opportunity to choose another response. And once you begin observing the experience, a deeper question naturally emerges. Who is the part of you that notices the thought? Who recognizes the pattern? Who is watching the human experience unfold? That is where our next conversation begins. This Thursday, the journey continues with week 7 of the secret architecture of the simulation. The observer. As we close today's reflection, remember this. You are not every thought that passes through your mind. You are not every emotion that rises within you. You are not every role, label, or experience the world has assigned to you. There is a part of you that notices, a part that watches the pattern, recognizes the reaction, and creates space for a different choice. That part is the observer. And once you begin to observe your experience instead of automatically becoming it, something changes. The pattern may still appear, but it no longer has the same power. Until then, give yourself permission to pause. Notice what arises. Observe without judgment. And remember that awareness does not always announce itself through a dramatic awakening. Sometimes awareness begins in the quiet moment when you realize, I do not have to respond the way I always have. This has been The Way I See It, from Awareness with Vanessa. Question everything. Observe more.
Thursday,